Hello everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to the first episode of MadShow China. My name is Ranji Liu, and I am so excited to be the host of the first episode of this new YouTube series. So for today, we will be discussing something very traditional in China, and that will be Chinese New Year's. Even though it's been a while since Chinese New Year, it's still a very interesting subject to discuss. So for today's episode, we'll be discussing the Chinese translation for Chinese New Year, which is called 春节. And specifically, we'll be talking about the character 春, which means spring. Alright, let's take a look at the Chinese character for spring first. So this is a Chinese character for spring, 春. Now, Chinese characters are logographical, which means they convey meaning through illustrations as to how we spell everything out in English. So in this character, you don't really see spring, but that's because Chinese characters have developed over 3,000 years of history, so there's a lot of room for change. If you look at the old version of 春, however, you can kind of see where we get spring from, with the little trees on top, you know, like a little village here, and like the sun, so you get an idea of spring. But if you're looking at the modern character, there is an easier way to remember how it might be spring. If you turn the modern character around upside down, you kind of get this little sprout-like thing going on, and you get the sun right above the sprout, which is the beginning of life, and thus spring. 春. Speaking of 春 and Chinese New Year's, one of the major aspects of this time period is the 春运. 春 representing spring and yun representing transportation. Now, although many of us have never really heard of this phrase before, it is huge in China, with over millions of people traveling throughout China for the tradition of eating with family again during Chinese New Year's. In this past 春运, over 3.32 million people took on this migration to go back home and eat with family again, making it one of the largest annual human migrations in the world. Now, with the growing numbers of migrant workers and college students, the number for 春运 will also rise. But it's important to remember how we need to be thankful for these people, as they are major contributors to the growing economy in China. Spending time with family is only one aspect of Chinese New Year. Another aspect of Chinese New Year is sitting down in front of a television and watching the 春晚. The 春晚, which is CCTV's Spring Festival Gala, is one of the most widely watched television programs in the world, reaching over 800 million viewers in 2014. Now, what the 春晚 basically is, it's a variety show, a toss out of entertainment, featuring song, dance, traditional theater, comedy, and more. Starting from the 80s, 春晚 features a variety of different shows for a variety of different people, speaking out to native Chinese of all different socioeconomic classes and backgrounds. By taking a brief look from the first 春晚 in 1983 to this year's 春晚, we can see how China has been changing rapidly throughout this past 32 years in terms of cultural openness, social and economic developments, and more. 春晚 is one of the best shows to watch if you're interested in Chinese history and culture, being something like a 4-hour entertainment crash course on Chinese history and Chinese culture. You can pretty much get a little bit of everything through watching 春晚. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and hopefully from watching, you learned a little bit more about China. Now, if you have any advice or comments for us at all, feel free to comment below, and we will try our best to follow it and make our video better for next time. If you have anything you're interested in about China as well, also tell us about it so we can answer your questions in a future episode. Now, to end today's episode, we'll be covering part of the introduction of 春晚 for this year. If you're interested in watching the whole thing, it is also provided on YouTube for free, so take a look at that as well. Thank you so much! watching, and happy the year of the goat or the sheep or whichever one you prefer.